Well, hi, friends. Hi, friends, and welcome to this live gathering. I'm Tim Fortescue, an internal family systems practitioner. Just making sure my volume is up here. But this model has been so transformative for me, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to share it with others, for the clients that I walk alongside and folks that gather here for community like this, whether you're joining for the very first time or you've been with us week after week. Your presence truly matters. This is a space where we can pause for a bit. Man, we need that in the world today, don't we? But we can pause together, breathe, and turn inward with curiosity and compassion. Try to do this each week, same time, which is 9 a.m. Central Time on Tuesdays, where I am. And I apologize for the last couple weeks. Some scheduling glitches with getting the live posted. And so thanks for bearing with me on that. But really value this community and want to show up consistently. What you can expect is each week, if you're new, we explore different aspects of IFS, not just as abstract ideas, but as living, breathing invitations to meet ourselves more fully. And you may notice parts of you eager to learn, others a bit skeptical, maybe even some that feel weary, and know that all of them are welcome here. In fact, that's the heart of what we do, creating room for every part of us to be seen, honored, and gently understood. Uh, if you haven't already, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel and like this video in particular. It helps YouTube know that we're here and helps the algorithms promote it more, from what I hear. Um, And if you have questions, you can put them in the chat if you're joining live. If you're watching a recording, I continue tracking with this week after week. And good morning, Lynn. So glad that you're here and glad to be back. Sorry for the scheduling glitches the last couple weeks. Um, but before we begin, or let's see, I think maybe my ADHD kicked in. Like, subscribe, share, ask questions either live or in the chat if you're watching a recording of this. And I do my best to engage with every comment. And so know that. But before we begin, I invite us just to settle in for a bit, let your shoulders drop, and take a slow breath. Simply notice who's here inside with you today. Which parts are most present? And just becoming aware can be enough and can go a long way sometimes. Yeah, we'll do a deeper meditation in a bit, but so grateful to share this time with you. And so let's step into today's live togethering together with openness, kindness, and the courage to listen deeply. And at the end, I'll take your questions and we can explore more if you have them, or we can explore throughout the week if you're watching a recording. All right. I think that is all the stuff. And so today, going to talk just a little bit about some of those hard emotions that we experience along the lines of things like anger, grief. And so just be aware of parts that you notice that come up even at the mention of that. And know that we're going to spend some time without agenda, but we'll get curious um, for a bit there. And so let's look along the lines of meeting grief and anger with a little more compassion. And so, how do you usually respond to anger or grief when it shows up in your life? I tend to push it away or not want to feel it, particularly with grief. And so, maybe you try to fix it or avoid it. Maybe you merge with it. This is all of who I am right now. In IFS, emotions are carried by parts of us. Grief and anger are not flaws, they're often protectors, messengers. Anger is often a protector part that guards pain, sets boundaries, or tries to keep things functioning. Grief sometimes can be more protective, but can also be an exile, those young, tender parts of us that hold loss, disappointment, vulnerability. And then we've got that core of who we are, that self energy, calm, curious, compassionate. I actually have a mug. If you listen to my podcast the last couple of weeks, I interviewed Ashley Booth uh, about her new book, Quieting the Storm Within. But often I remember about six of the eight C's, but it's good to have them in front of me. But that connected, creative, curious, clear, confident, courageous, calm, and compassion, or the eight qualities of those C words. And they don't have to be C words, but it's a good reminder for me. Check out the podcast last week. And tomorrow, Ashley did a beautiful meditation, and I'll be releasing a meditation that she did uh, with my weekly podcast. But just remember, and then we'll get into our meditation. You're not your anger. And man, I need to hear that too. I'm not my anger. We all have a part. I think we all have a part. I know I do, that holds anger. And we're not our grief, but we have parts that hold grief and anger. But it's true. All parts carry good intentions, even if their strategies are extreme. We don't have to silence these parts. We can get to know them. And that self, that core, sometimes you'll hear me call it my belovedness, because we're beloved human beings. It doesn't fix, it witnesses, listens, and builds trust. And so, as we head toward our meditation and check in, is there a part of you that's been loud lately? What might that part be trying to protect you from? And with that, I invite us to close our eyes and go inside for a bit and ask, who needs my attention today? What does that part want me to know? You're not too much. Your grief and anger aren't bad. They're calling out for care, not control. So as you're inside, let your breath slow, let your body be supported. Let your system know too. We do about a 10-minute meditation. Sometimes it's good for my parts to know when the end will come. And so if you have parts like that, let them know. And this meditation is a chance to be with any parts of you holding grief, anger, maybe sadness, any other intense emotion. Just a little compassion and curiosity. Feel your body here. Notice the support beneath you. Breathe gently and let yourself land. We're not here to fix anything, only to listen. And ask that question again and see what you notice. Is there a part of me that would like my attention right now? See what arises. Maybe there's tension in the chest, a lump in the throat, a memory, a sensation. Welcome whatever you notice. Maybe it's parts that hold anger or grief. It might be something else entirely. Bring gentle attention to that part. You might say, I see you. I'm here with you. See how the part responds. See if your heart's a little open to this part. If you understand how it's responding, let the part know that. If it's open for another question, ask, what are you afraid would happen if you didn't show up this way with such intense anger or grief? And be sure too, we're not trying to get rid of our anger and grief. These parts that bring them, those are gifts. We need our feelings. But these parts aren't alone. They don't have to work so hard if they don't want. And ask, what do you need from me right now? And just listen. There's no need to analyze or fix. We're just here to be curious for a few minutes. And often my younger parts love to be reminded that it's okay to play. We can be playful here too. Just see if you could let some of that playfulness, that playful energy, extend it toward this part that you're giving some attention now and see if they can take it in. Maybe a little calmness or compassion. Let's just hold some space for a minute or so with you and this part, and maybe there are parts that are witnessing. They're welcome to. Just notice and breathe for a bit. And if you're feeling a little more spaciousness from this place, thank this part for what it's been trying to do for you. Maybe you say, "Thank you for working so hard." You don't have to do it alone anymore. Let that part know that it's welcome, it belongs, and it can rest and play if it wants to. Just see if there's anything else before we begin to wrap up for today. Our grief matters, our anger matters, and there's a team here that can support one another. Just see if that team could trust you to lead just a little more. That trust level may vary more for some than others. I think this part that you've spent some time with, and let it know you'll return. You're learning to build trust with it. And think those parts that may have been able to soften back and witness this interaction. Remind them they matter too. They can have a voice. And you have to have a journal. Maybe jot down who showed up. Then, when it feels right, you can bring your awareness back to your body. Feel your breath, feel your seat. When you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes or lift your gaze. Let me close our time with this affirmation. All parts of me are welcome. I can meet my emotions with care, not control. I'm learning to listen inside. See if your parts can take that, and I'll answer your questions there. If you're watching live and prefer to do that, you can do that. And you can always send me an email to tim@faithfullygrowing.com. If you haven't already, I encourage you to like, share, subscribe. I don't know all the words, but this helps other people find this content. And if you like this particular video, it helps YouTube know that there's interaction here and can help others find this in the recording. Yeah, thank you so much, Lynn. Um, and I encourage you to check out exploreifs.com, where you can join the Faithfully Growing community. Just gives a weekly drop in and gives contact with others on this parts work journey. Always seem like a salesman when I'm saying this, but it's $9 a month. And if that's an issue for you, let me know and we'll work something out. But really, just grateful to be on this journey with you. And join me next week, same time, 9 a.m. US Central Time. But so grateful that you're here. Thanks so much for those thumbs up. And yeah, you're not alone. We're in this together. And let's try to take care of ourselves this week. All right. Thank you all.